To perform a front squat, we set up with our hands just wider than shoulder width. We come towards the bar, and I personally like to set my feet almost underneath where the bar is. So you can see there, I rest my chest on the bar and then put my feet directly underneath it. So I almost have to lean back to be able to get underneath where the bar is going to go. That just for me works from a balance perspective. You want to set up so that your shoulders, the front part of the musculature on your shoulders, is in front of where the bar is. This part of the bar here will be sitting a little bit on your collarbones unless you really push your elbows upwards. If you lower your elbows down, this musculature here won't be up to provide support, and as a result, the bar will literally sit on your collarbones, and that will be very uncomfortable. So you have to keep your elbows up so that it can sit on your shoulder muscles. Then when you keep your elbows up, you'll see that there's this fractional little gap here, and that's sat on the tissue so that that can be a bit more comfortable. You want to try and have as full of a grip as you can, but the priority is getting this shelf for the bar to sit on. And if that requires you to loosen your grip a little bit, or even go down to 3 fingers or 2 fingers whilst keeping your elbows up, then that's okay, because you're not really stopping the bar from falling forwards with your hands. You're more stopping the bar from falling forwards by keeping your elbows up. I'll explain what that means in a second when we go into the actual squat position. So when you lower down to the bottom of the squat position here, by keeping the elbows up, that's what stops the bar from falling forwards. If you feel that when you get towards the bottom of a squat, the bar is sliding off your shoulders or you're really hurting your wrists, then your mobility isn't quite substantial enough to be able to keep your elbows up throughout the entirety of the movement. That's the objective, and you can see there's almost like this little internal cue in my head where just before I start to go down, my elbows just fractionally go up a little bit because it's just that little internal reminder for myself to keep my elbows up as I'm doing that squat. It's a very upright body position, and that is the priority when we do this. You have to keep an upright torso position, because if it isn't, the bar will fall forwards and it'll go into your elbow joints, and that's very uncomfortable. It's really important to set up the safety bars here just as an extra little reminder. But beyond those differences, the rest of the things are similar to all of the other variations of a squat. We're trying to have an even distribution of weight between the inside, the outside, and the heel of our foot, and we're trying to evenly distribute the load between our hips and our knees. However, when we do an upright squat like this, a very upright torso position, we are going to be putting a little bit more emphasis towards the knee joint than we are towards the hip joint. That is just because your knees will go over your toes more as a result of having to keep an upright torso position. So as a result, there is potential that you will feel this more in your knees or in your quads in comparison to other squat related movements.